2 years ago, I had a total mental collapse and found myself in a position where I didn't know how to continue living happily. It was a really dark time, and in that time, one of the things that got me through was reading fantasy books. And so today, I wanted to talk to you about the fantasy books that helped me recover from this. It was a very challenging time, and while I never felt like unaliving myself, I did get to a point where I didn't know how to find joy in anything anymore. And it was through going to therapy and reading some of these books that I learned some really key lessons that got me through this. So I wanted to start out by talking about The Hobbit. This was a book that got to me at the right time in my life. I had never read it when I was a kid, and at the time when I was really struggling to find any kind of joy in anything, it provided me with an amazing piece of escapism, and it showed me a character who didn't really feel like going out of their comfort zone, and it showed me this character growing from being somebody who was stuck in a bit of a rut and pushed themselves to do better. And at the time, I needed that push myself. This was very much the Gandalf of my life. The thing that told me that I needed to go out there and face the fear that I was experiencing. I was stuck in my own house and I didn't want to leave the comforts behind. And I was so deep-rooted in this fear that I wasn't able to enjoy time with my family or any of that stuff that I really wanted to do. But this book presented me with an inkling that I could do that, because Bilbo went out there and did it, you know? I know it sounds really corny and cheesy, but seeing this character go out of his comfort zone gave me a bit of a stir to go and try and get out on my own. The next book I want to talk to you about is Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. This book was great because it provided me with the connection of friendship that I felt like I was losing through the scenario that I was going through. On the lead up to my mental breakdown, I lost contact with a very close friend, and it was very tricky making that transition into a world without him. And this book did a really great job of reminding me of the camaraderie and the joy of friendship, of what happens when you trust a band of people wholeheartedly and how you come together. And there's also a very awesome dragon on the front, so I can't complain about that either. But really, the heart of this book was the friendships and the found family. And reading that and experiencing that, getting to know these people who, again, were going through hardship, but pushing on and fighting the odds together. That was really important to me. The fact that they were all fighting the odds together, that they were all in the same boat and they were all showing up and doing their bit and doing what they needed to do. And I wanted more than ever at the time of reading this to be able to get out of my own comfort zone and to be able to finally see the world again and experience it. The next book on the list is The Sword of Kaigen. This book was extremely powerful because it reminded me how important it is to remember that everybody is human and everybody is going through something. And I think the beauty of this book is just the way that it allowed me to have space for myself because of the innate teaching within this book. It's one of those that if you read it, it's got a very weird pacing. And I think if you go into this expecting it to deliver what you expect, to deliver upon your expectations, I'm not sure you'll be happy with it. But what it gave to me was this magical moment that I've never seen in any other book, that provides respect towards everybody. Every person in this book is respected. And the reason why it resonated with me so much was because I was hurting. I was going through a hard time. And I was feeling guilty that I was letting people down. And that I was stunned and stuck in my own place. And there's a moment in this book where that is pretty much what another character is going through. And it made me realize that I should accept myself and that I am growing and that I don't have to be anything other than who I am in this moment. And the way to be strong isn't to be what everyone expects of you. It is to show up for yourself. The next two books on this list, they kind of taught me a variation of the same thing, but I want to mention them both. And I'm going to do Oathbringer first. Oathbringer. This book has brought me out of so many challenging moments. Even to this day, when I have a panic attack, I'll put on a audio clip of a moment in this book, and it makes me feel stronger, and it reminds me that I can be brave. There were so many moments of emotional turmoil that I've been through, and go through on a day-to-day sometimes. And there's one message that I think about every single time that I go through this. I put it on because it reminds me that it's okay to hurt. And it's okay to hold on to the things that you've been through, but it's important to channel them as a force to be used in a positive light. It is taking everything that you've ever been through, that you're scared of feeling, the emotions that you feel that are the scariest to feel. It reminds me that you must feel those emotions wholeheartedly. You must welcome them in, allow them to be there, sit with them, treat them like an old friend, and remind yourself that it's okay that you're hurting right now, because ultimately the pain that you're going through is going to make you grow, and ultimately that pain is going to allow you to be a better person. It'll allow you to grow. It'll allow you to be strong. So, this book, I have a lot that I have to say about this book that I can't go into now. I don't want to spoil anything. But it has so many times in my life just been the anchor that I've required. The hard times. Now, the next one teaches a very similar lesson to what Oathbringer does. And I wanted to mention it because I think it's a brilliant book. And that's Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. And there is a poem at the back here. And it's all about how life can be really challenging. And how when you don't run from the pain, when you don't run from the suffering, you learn something new and you get given something in return. You get to create art. You get to engage with others. The greatest thing about my own mental health battle has been the ability to connect with others, and sometimes when I see they're going through something, I can give back from the teachings that I've had during this time. So this book here, it taught me that no matter what, through whatever you're going through, you can make it if you stick around. if you stay in it long enough, you grow and you become stronger, and you don't believe you can. You never believe you can. But you stick around long enough and you see yourself grow. And I've been very privileged to have a lot of support and a lot of help through this. And I've been very lucky to have some great stories along the way too that have just taught me and shaped how I see things. I think the ultimate learning that I've had from my mental breakdown is that it will pass and you'll grow and it will take time. But showing up and believing that one day that suffering will end will ultimately help you become the person that you're supposed to be.